What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Darky Chan. We are approaching the final weeks of June, so let's get this market update done. A lot of things happened over the weekend. USA bombing Iran for their nuclear facilities. Lots of uncertainty coming into today because of that. Talks of World War III were going on. Retaliation, all of that. And then we all woke up this morning, or we looked at futures last night. Not a lot of changed. It barely moved. And then this morning we were expecting either a big dump or a prolonged dump throughout the day as we hear more news about Iran's retaliation and whatnot. But none of that happened. Look at it. We're up almost 1% today for the S&P 500, and after hours, it's doing some action, and it was bopping all over the place today. Overnight, it dumped a little bit, rose, dumped, rose, throughout the day, dumped again, and then lunchtime, moves happen, morning, lunch, and 10 minutes before closing. Today, all the moves happened during opening and lunchtime, and then during close, it just stayed on that high. We've closed above 600 yet again. I think the last time we closed above 600 was way back here, early June, mid-June, and then we've been down trending since then. So what happened? So pretty much there's this whole Israel-Iran talks of a ceasefire, but this happened after hours. So I feel like this is going to be good for the market tomorrow. A lot less uncertainty. We got one issue done. Now it's back to talking about the ICE raids, inflation, yada, yada, yada. But Iran did retaliate today. There was some missile strikes here and there, but hopefully no casualties. It sounds like there's no casualties, so that's good. So it sounds like you hit me, I hit you back, even Stevens, and now there's talk of a ceasefire. So once that's fully done and it's fully digested, we'll see what happens. A lot of people said the World War III concerns were kind of priced into the market. I mean, here and there. It's very, very, very contentious on both sides on whether or not it is or isn't. But if you look at the price action overall, if you just forget about the news, I mean, this is just a very, very mild pullback from the local highs that we have. And if we keep on getting good news, we get some good reports, jobless reports, yada yada yada, we could inch closer to all-time highs at around 612, 613, come July or August. And year to date, we're still up 2%. My prediction is year to date, come December, we're probably going to get close to 8 to 10% overall, which is pretty standard or pretty average for the S&P 500. There's standard growth. If you count inflation, it's about 7% with inflation calculated, but it's pretty standard. We could get a nice Thanksgiving, Christmas rally, a nice Q3 rally. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, just talking about today, we were all expecting things to dump, World War III. All the news outlets were saying, this is bad, we shouldn't have done it. But the stock market, pretty positive. So, all right. So I asked ChatGPT what is going on, and here's what it has to say. Key drivers behind today's gain: geopolitical de-escalation, Iran's measured response. So this was going on throughout the day. I was keeping my eye on my phone for all these news updates, and pretty much Iran did launch some missiles to Qatar and Iraq, but again, no casualties, no energy, nothing was damaged. It just hit empty fields. So this was more so Iran's show their response. They've warned U.S. that they're going to strike these areas in Qatar, and it it seemed more of a, hey, we're sort of waving the white flag, but we're not really waving the white flag. We don't want to explicitly wave the white flag. So forget that. So everybody was also expecting oil prices were gonna go crazy. Like they were talking about the Strait of Hormuz closing that down, and that's like 20% of the world's oil supply, but most of it is going to China. So there's a lot of debate on that over the weekend. It's crazy how all these things happen over the weekend, and if you have calls or puts from Friday to Monday and all this stuff happens during the weekend, weekday transition, it's a roller coaster ride. So so oil prices dropped sharply, down 7%, relieving pressure on inflation and energy stocks. That is big, because again, what are the headwinds? Global uncertainty, oil prices, inflation. I mean, these are all slowly simmering down. And again, these are ongoing stories. Things can change day by day, but it is just a roller coaster ride. All right, dovish signals from the Fed. Fed Gov Michelle Bowman expressed openness to a rate cut in July if inflation stays subdued. So again, the Fed, they've been kicking the can down the road. We'll see what happens. Trump wants them to cut. Jay Powell doesn't want to cut. He still is pretty worried about tariff impacts. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's just like news cycle. One day we're on this big topic, next day we're on another topic. It is just a wild ride. Oh boy. All right. I mean, I don't remember too much of 2016 because I wasn't really too into politics and the market. But I'm pretty sure back in 2016, it was just as crazy. All right. Number 3, big cap tech and AI excitement. Tesla shares soared 8% after launching the robotaxi. So, yes, I have seen this on TikTok and on Twitter, and a lot of people liked it. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, they roll it out here in Manhattan, but I think it's going to be really congested in Manhattan. But it's such a cool feature. $4, pretty cheap Uber ride, clean. You don't have to worry about awkward conversations with the driver, if the driver is good or not. So this is pretty cool. This is very futuristic, and it's great for Tesla. So let's hop over and take a look at Tesla real quick to see some of the action going on. Wow, up 8% today. So let's see where it was trending a week ago. Yeah, pretty much down in the dumps, and then slowly coming back up. All right, so it's coming back up to this May high. Slowly coming back. We'll see, because will it make a higher high? We'll see. So 353. So it could make a higher high. If it stays up here for a little bit, it's a higher high, and then it'll probably make a lower low and then slowly climb back up. So it's pretty great news. It's crazy how all this stuff happened over the weekend. And if you were watching the NBA, Halliburton went down. Yeah, it was an exciting week. It was an exciting week. All right, M&A chatter and earnings news. Bank of New York Mellon showed interest in Northern Trust, boosting its stock 8%. Oh, nice. Okay, mixed news from other sectors, yada, yada. Okay, so pretty much summary, geopolitics cooling down, and that reduces energy and inflation risks. Yes, Iran, oil, yep, we got that. Fed might cut. So that's something they're going to dangle in our faces throughout this entire year. So this mix is creating a risk-on environment, lifting the S&P 500 out of its 3-day skid and pushing it towards new highs. Will we get new highs this year? Will we touch all-time highs? I think we can, but we'll see. Well, this is just, again, my opinion. So bottom line, you can see strength from calm in the Middle East, reducing energy premiums, yes, market positioning, anticipating Fed easing, and tech firms fueling rally momentum. So that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at, again, just some of the core stuff. So S&P 500, core holding for a lot of people. Apple, another core holding for a lot of people. Nvidia. So Apple, not a lot of action. Again, still coming back from its subpar developer conference. Nvidia, same thing. Just slowly reclaiming some of their former glory. Like Nvidia is almost back up. It's almost back there. Heck, I think it might even made a new high. Is that all-time high? No, 149. So again, these Mag 7, Mag 6 stocks are slowly coming back to their all-time highs, and again, that will lift the market. Oh, tough day for Alphabet. What's up with Alphabet today? Probably some bad news on Waymo. Okay. All right, maybe it's because of Tesla. Who knows? All right, let's take a look at Meta. Banging day for Meta. Meta is printing. Yeah, almost back at all-time highs as well. Let's take a Lulu. Well, I knew Lulu took a big dump a while back. Let's see how it's doing. It's still skidding. It is still skidding. I haven't bought any Lululemon in quite some time. It'll probably touch. Wow, it's back to its COVID. Closing in on its COVID pricing. Wow. Let's take a look at Nike, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up for this Monday's Market Watch. Wow, Nike's up 1%. What's up here? What's up with Nike? Nike announces retirement of board member. All right, so introducing some new blood into the decisions. All right, y'all. So that's pretty much it for today's market update. Everybody's happy, easing global tensions. That's the biggest thing. We'll see how we do. Hopefully we get back to all-time highs and then break through that. But wow, what a year. What a year. February 19th, all the way down 25%. Rally all the way back up. This is the market. All right, guys, that's all I have. Ciao.